Hi everyone, welcome to Cook with Tife Table Talks. So the idea behind this is simple: food, honest conversations, and talking about the things that we navigate through life. Then today we are going to be talking about something that people experience, and I am so glad to be joined by somebody that I respect, somebody that I love his perspective about life, career, God, faith, and so many other things that we can talk about. I'm going to be hearing his voice now. He's my very good friend, Olayemi Ajibola of eBrand Elevate. Please
So good to be
welcome.
here. So good to be here, Tife.
Thank you so much for coming. How was your trip here? Hope it was not stressful.
No, not at all. It was just smooth. It was
Okay.
good, really good.
All right. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So this first episode of many episodes is to celebrate International Women's Day. And you'll be surprised that why do we have a man here rather than a woman? Well, as the conversation goes on, you're going to find out why we have a man here rather than a woman. Okay, so this is going to be we are going to talk about life, like I said, and the topic for today is waiting on God. Yes, it was picked intentionally because we have a lot of waiting seasons in life. So our guest is going to be answering a few questions. But before I ask our guests some questions, I just want to ask you. You can drop your answer in the comment section. So you can tell me what you do to make your day or to make life restful for you. You can tell us how you navigate life, maybe when you're going through hard seasons, what do you do differently, or what do you do to make sure that yeah, it's going smoothly. So you can drop your answers in the comment section. So the next section we're going to be going on is question and answer. All right. So since we are celebrating International Women's Day, so the first question I'm going to be asking Olayemi is, how do you navigate life in waiting seasons? I'm sure that you have women in your life. I'm sure that you have people that reach out to you for advice. I am even one of those people that reach out to you for advice. So just to put it out there. So how
Yeah.
do you navigate life? Let's say you have a friend, a female friend that is talking to you about, okay, they're in a waiting season and they're like, how am I supposed to go through this waiting season? Maybe it's about career, it could be about their marriage,
Mhm.
it could be about anything. So please answer that.
Okay. Thank you. It's so good to be here. If you're watching this day, wherever you're watching from across the globe, so good to be here, and I'm glad you're listening to this because I believe strongly that you're going to learn something, and it's going to be an impactful session for you.
Yeah.
All right, and we trust God that God will help us even as we delve right into it. Well, I actually have quite a number of female friends. I have more female friends compared to the
Your
male
male
folks
friends.
actually. And the funny thing is the question thrown at me is like a day-to-day question I have to answer, you know, when my female friends ask me
Yeah.
questions as such. And one of the things I always tell them is, you know, while waiting, okay, or especially when you're waiting on God,
Yeah.
it is not a state of inactivity.
Yeah.
All right,
Mm.
waiting on God is not a state or a moment of inactivity. It is a preparation stage.
Mm.
All right,
Mm.
a lot of people
Yeah.
think when they are waiting on God or when they are waiting, they shouldn't be doing anything.
Mm.
No,
Mm.
waiting, if you're looking at the scriptures and you're checking Isaiah 40 verse 31, it says, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew
Their
their
strength.
strength. Right?
Yes.
So it
Yeah.
means that in the period of waiting, there are some things that are happening to you. In the
Yeah.
period of waiting is a period of preparation. In the period of waiting is a period of growing.
Yeah.
In the period of waiting is a period of positioning yourself.
Yeah.
All right. And I mean, let me maybe just summarize this by saying something that the eagle does not just fly.
Mm.
No, the eagle does not just do it in that manner. There are some things the eagle does. All right, it develops stronger wings before it ascends.
Mm.
All right, the
Develop
eagle
stronger
develops
wings. Yeah.
stronger wings
Mm.
before it ascends. So it means that in your period of waiting is a time to build and develop capacity.
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I'll give you another example of the life of Jesus. Forgive me. you know, I love that part so much, and it has always been my go-to and something I always have to remind myself of every now and then.
Yeah.
Now, it was recorded that before he started his ministry,
Yeah.
what happened to him? He had to go to a waiting room, all right,
Mm-hmm.
to go and prepare and know the mind of God for him.
For
So
him.
it was in that period of waiting that he was preparing for the ministry that he spent, barely, he didn't
3 years.
spend 4 years. He
Yeah.
spent 3 years
3 years.
and, a few,
Yeah.
right? So it is a period of preparation.
Hmm.
It is a period
Preparation.
of growing.
Hmm.
It is a period
Growing.
of positioning.
Hmm.
It is a period where God builds capacity in you and you're able to fly with that thing that God has built in you.
Hmm.
So that's, one of the things, that's one thing you need to know about
Hmm.
waiting,
Hmm.
on God. Yeah.
Hmm. So I picked something. He said that when you are waiting, you should not pause your life. That's what I sum it up. Don't pause your life. You should grow. I was going to ask you that question, but you already answered it. He said we should grow. So it means that maybe you're waiting on God for something. Let's talk about career. You're waiting on God to get married. You're waiting on God to get a job. You're waiting on God to start something. I believe that we are all waiting. I don't think there's a time in our life that nobody's waiting for something. Because
Absolutely.
once you get one thing, you're looking on to the next already. You're not saying, okay, I've gotten this one, let me relax. No, I don't think God wants us to just stay at one place. So I'm sure there's always a time when we are waiting. So, and while we are waiting, you should continue growing. So I would sum that up to mean that you should not pause your life. You should find something doing. And like I said in Isaiah, God will continue to renew our strength. Okay, so quickly, we're going to ask another question. So the second question is, what does LD support look like when someone, especially a woman in your life, is in a season of waiting? So um, I believe that maybe LD support, there could be some support that is not LD. I don't know. But to you, what do you think that LD support looks like?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So when you're looking at healthy support, um, well, I'm not going to make this controversial,
Okay.
all right? But when you're looking at healthy support, especially with it necessarily does not have to be my wife.
Mm,
It doesn't have to be my girlfriend.
yeah.
It can just be the females around me. Okay. So healthy support in this instance means that you're able to give them both spiritual support,
Mm,
pray for them.
mm,
All right. Pray for
yeah.
them.
Okay.
But before you pray for them, you need to hear them.
Mm, yeah. Then.
All right,
Yeah.
because they always have something they want to share with you. They always have a burden they
Mm,
carry that they want to share with you, so hear them. All right,
yeah.
when you hear them, don't judge them.
Mm,
I don't know, but I think maybe that's why I have a lot of female friends around me. All right, I hear them, I pay attention to my female friends.
wow.
All right, and when I pay attention to them, I hear them, I don't judge them.
Mm,
All right, I pray for them.
mm,
I support them with materials or resources that can aid, their growth in that season of
mm,
waiting.
mm,
All right.
mm,
It could be a course, to help them out. All
mhm,
right. It could be a mentor that I know that, we do a good job in that space that I recommend to them.
mm,
Okay. It could be a course
yeah.
I either pay for or whatever.
Uh-huh.
All right. Just for them to grow out of that state and for them to become a better version of who God has made them to be.
To be.
Yeah. And
Mm,
let me say this as well, that I think it is in that vulnerability that a lot of guys actually take advantage
of women.
of ladies who are supposed to be their friend,
Mm,
taking
yeah.
it into another thing as a result of I helped you,
Mm,
right?
mm,
But building friendship, especially with the opposite sex, and supporting them, to be a healthy kind of support, as
mm,
it were,
mhm,
just like a question, men or guys need to understand how to support that without looking back.
mm. Have to support without looking
Without
back, like
looking back.
without waiting for something in
Exactly. In
return.
return.
Mm,
Even if they don't tell you thank you tomorrow. It's okay. You have fulfilled, you have fulfilled a purpose in
In
their
their
life.
life.
You have
Yeah.
made an impact in their life.
Wow.
All right.
No.
So that's one of the things I do for my female folks,
Mm.
and maybe that's why I have quite a lot of
A
them
lot.
around me. you
So
know.
wow, that is really nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I picked something from it. So it said that supporting people with supporting the women in his life with resources or connecting them to mentors. And this is something that I'm always saying. I heard it from my pastor and I'm always saying it every time. Yeah, it is not enough to just motivate someone. If motivation goes very well with empowerment. You can motivate from today to tomorrow. What if you don't tell the person that, okay, after this motivation now, this is the next step that I should take. Okay, just came to a program, I just motivate them, I started with this is where I am now. You didn't tell the person that when I was here, oh, this was what I did. That's empowerment. It does not necessarily mean that you're giving somebody money. It's not everything that is money. So, like you said, now you send them courses. Maybe somebody that is trying to find their feet. Let's say I'm trying to go into tech, and I'm like, I want to go into tech, and I come to you as my friend. I want to go into tech, and I'm like, and you're like, you can do anything you want to do. You can do it. How do you say it now? Empowering women, and you're not telling the woman that, okay, or you're not telling her that, okay, you can take this course for a start. That's empowerment. I don't think there's any other thing that is more healthy than that. Then you also said that you listen to them, and that's why you have a lot of women friends in your life. Anyway, thank you so much. This was really fun,
Yeah.
and we are coming to an end of this already because it is Scoop with Fair Table Thoughts. We are eating after talking,
Mm.
so
So
this is
let,
the
let
first
me
part.
say
Okay.
something before we wrap up this
Yeah.
section. All right. Two things I just want to pick out. Also celebrating the women out there. I mean, the very
Yes.
intentional women and
Yes.
the good woman out
Yes.
there. Also celebrating my mom.
Oh, so sweet.
Now, there's something I also want to share, and I
Yeah.
feel I'm picking this out as a lesson I've learned in my life,
Yeah.
right? As a woman or even as a man,
Mm-hmm.
whosoever watching this, always understand that you have to. Um, okay, let me read this out.
All right.
Waiting on God doesn't mean you stop living,
Mm.
but it also doesn't mean you start forcing outcome out of fear. All right, I would
Mm.
explain this.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Let's say you're praying, you have two options or two choices for a thing, and you're earnestly praying that God should show up on which one to pick.
Yeah.
All right, and there's anxiety. Okay, you're trying to also give God deadlines because you
Mm.
want to hurriedly,
Do it.
just know which one exactly.
Mm.
All right, so in this kind of situation, I want you to understand that you can also be busy with purpose.
Mm.
You can be calm, all right, while you are also waiting on God for an outcome for that particular thing you're asking Him for.
Mm.
So instead of pushing out an outcome by fear,
Yeah.
all right, you can be calm. There's a song that says, "Be still and know that
Mm-hmm.
I am God," right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you can be still. It is God who brings about calmness into everybody's life. I'll give an example. When the disciples were on the ship, all
Yeah.
right, and
Yeah.
then there was storm,
Some.
what
Yeah.
happened? Everywhere there was anxiety, there was
Mm-hmm.
different thoughts in
Yeah.
the mind,
Yeah.
and so many people were already having that outcome of fear of we're going to drown.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened? When Jesus was, awoken, and then he said, "Peace be
Be
still."
still.
What happened? Everybody had two options.
Yeah.
Either we sink here or
Oh.
somebody saves us. All
Mm.
right.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, they could not decide, and the percentage of somebody is going to save us was lower compared to the percentage that we are going to
People.
sink here. All right.
Yeah. Mm.
But this is also saying that you need to just wait on Him, irrespective of the time it takes. And finally, I'll end on this. Um, God often prepared the person before releasing the promise.
Mm.
All right.
Right
God
on,
often
Pastor.
prepares the person before releasing the promise.
Yeah.
And this is, an example of the life of Joseph. Forgive me, I may be using him as an example, but even as a female, you can learn from it.
Yeah.
All right. Now, You can imagine the things he had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
He had to go through the period of pit,
Yeah.
when his brothers had to,
Dumped him in the pit.
exactly, he
Yeah.
had to go through the period of slavery, all
Yeah.
right. He had to go
Potiphar's
through the period of prison,
prison.
okay,
Mm.
and then he had to go through the period of leadership training. So you can
Yeah.
imagine how many years it took Joseph
Mm-hmm.
to get the promise
Mm.
that he had envisioned or that
When
God
he
has
was
shown
young.
to him. So you
Yeah.
can see that in
Mm.
the waiting room, all right, God often prepares you,
Mm.
right,
Yeah.
ahead before releasing the promise into your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Because God needs to be sure that you're capable enough, all
Mm-hmm.
right, to hold on to that promise and
Mm.
then walk with that promise until it takes you to your promised land, and
Yeah.
also until He brings you back to the promise giver, which is God.
Hmm. Wow. That
All right.
was deep. In
Yeah.
fact, that really sums it up. I don't even think we need to ask another question again.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad. I really loved um, the wrap up that you gave to us. So it's very intentional. I love it. And this says that it's for everyone. It's for both men and for both women. Whether you're a man watching this or you're a woman watching this, you're a woman, you have a man in your life. You're a man, you have women in your life. So, and this is for everyone. And this does not mean that we ourselves we are not waiting. No, it's just what I believe most people are going through in life and navigating through life. And it does not mean that we have the perfect answer, but I believe that the Holy Spirit helps us. It gives us answers at any point where we are maybe confused or anything like that. So, as it is International Women's Day 2026, as we know, there's always a theme for each year. So, we are going to ask our guests. I hope he knows it. What is the theme for this year?
Well, the thing for this year is gift to gain. Yeah,
Okay,
gift to
so
gain.
thank you. As we celebrate International Women's Day, I hope that this conversation reminds someone that waiting does not mean your life is paused. Growth, purpose, and joy can still happen right where we are. I love this because this is also speaking to me as it's speaking to everyone out there. Know that as a woman, that God loves you. Know that as a woman, everybody loves you. Before the men come for me and say it's only about women, no, we also love our men in our life and we celebrate them too as much as we celebrate women in our life. Now we are going to be going to the next session where we are going to be eating. Do you want to know what I made for my guests today? You can put a comment or you can guess, I don't know, but I made something really amazing and I think I should say it now. So today our guest is going to be eating drumroll. It's going to be eating semo and seafood okra. Yes, we are going the traditional way, and I really hope and I believe. Let me not just say I hope. I believe our guest is going to love the menu for today. So come along with us. Okay, so we just had a nice meal of semo and seafood okra. You can drink of zobo and water. Anyway, I'm going to be asking our guests how he feels about the food. So I can hear it from the horse's mouth. So you don't get to hear it from my mouth. Hear it from the horse's mouth. So how was the food on a scale of 1 to 10? Honest opinions only.
Okay. I mean, well, I wasn't, in all honesty, I wasn't expecting a seafood okra. Okay. I don't know, but I wasn't even thinking
Oh, but
of anything
okay,
anyway.
I just
You
wanted to
know, but while we were shooting, I said it is seafood okra.
be
I'm like,
blown away.
oh, I was blown, right? Really, because I always run away from seafood okra.
Why?
I always do. You know, I don't know. I don't just. It takes me time before I blend to eating. You know,
Mm,
yeah. Though I eat crab.
okay.
I grew up in Ondo State, so I eat crab. But having to eat this afternoon, all I can say is, should I say I overcame one of my fears of eating, seafood, spells. I'm not really used to it. in as much as I did it was hard work, but then I wasn't just really eating all of those things. But should I say, I think I overcome one of my fears today. And
Okay.
then really eating crab again. It's been a very long time, about 20 years now.
Wow.
And also eating, all those seafood stuff. I mean, yeah, I live with it actually. So I think you can have maybe 100 over 10. Trust me,
Okay.
it was really nice. The food was sumptuous. It was, trust me, beautiful. Yeah, I enjoyed the meal. I really did enjoy. I mean, you can see maybe I'm sweating a bit. Maybe not profusely anyway, because there are things to help me cool down. So thank you so very much, Tife. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you
The
so
meal was really
much.
good. Really,
I
really
am
good.
really glad that you enjoyed it. So, who's going to be our next guest? Who do you think we should bring, and what do you think we should be talking about in our next episode? What should we be cooking next? Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to be seeing you in the next episode. Cook with Tife Table Talks. My name is Tife, and this is Olayemi. Thank you so much.
Thank you.